And I think he's going to have another really strong performance because Huni is going to test you. He's a guy who is going to make risky plays, who is going to go aggressively at you, really no matter what he is playing, and FakeGod has to be equal to the challenge.
Well, he's got to make sure he can step up for that one. The Rakan taken away. The Jarvan grabbed early on as another aggressive champ comes through for clutch. And oh, this is exciting. We get to see Leona in the lineup.
It is the Rakan counter. People love to talk about it like this. You know, when you see Rakan going forward, you can just actually engage straight onto the Rakan. The Zenith Blade can actually follow Rakan when he's trying to dip out or go in for that engage. And you straight up just lock him down and burst him out. So really powerful engage here already coming out for Vulcan. And I'm going to be excited to see how he will execute on this because you are already going for a bit of a risky draft here and your playoff lives are on the line. But that is how Clutch plays and you love to see them kind of sticking to their guns.
Definitely, I think a good choice right here. Also want to point out there is a positive interaction between Kaisa and Leona. For the Leona, flat damage reduction on the W now is good against those missiles that hit so many different times and each one removed a little bit from the W, so that's going to be a little bit of an extra tank stat there for Vulcan. Of course, Bang's targets are going to be the squishier backliners with the rest of his team engaging, but, you know, in case that happens, they'll be tankier.
Yeah, definitely the case. And I want to say it's first Leona of the split. I don't think we have actually seen anyone play Leona thus far in the summer split or LCS. So, you know, a big first pick being brought out here by Vulcan. He was always so good on those engaged sports when they were more meta. A very good Alistar player. I remember, you know, especially back in spring, he had been kind of playing that quite a bit or earlier this split perhaps. But, you know, I'm so excited to see how this is actually going to work out. You know, Kaisa, certainly someone that you do have the potential to dive onto and actually burst out. And you have to remember that all the Leona CC buys time for Cody Sun to layer feathers overward, you know, over top of that target and then pull back through for additional CC.
All right, well, the final ban's coming through. As you can see, 2 top laners banned away. Clutch Gaming, I think, maybe happy to keep the Irelia where she is onto Huni in the top lane, although both he and Damonte have played it once, so that it remains flexible. And you're seeing jungle bans from Thieves. Of course, they have that Jarvan, and now waiting to see what Bang wants to lock in for the squad. Of course, Corki, one of those common champions this patch, is going to be the likely lock-in, and Ryu gets a very comfortable mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ryu's most played by far. This is now his 7th Corki play. Next most played is 2 games on Victor. So, you know, pretty much anytime you leave it up, you have to know that Ryu is going to take it. It is a matchup that he is very comfortable playing into against the Azir. You know, certainly a lot of pros do feel that is Corki favored. So if we were to see that kind of standard matchup mid lane, Ryu would be feeling very good about it.
All right, well, Clutch going to go down the well of jungle a little bit. Gragas comes through. Hey, Yasuo's still up, you never know. That seems like the most Clutch thing to do right here is grab the last pick Yasuo and then see what 100 Thieves wants to throw at the top lane afterwards. But they got to round out the composition. 100 Thieves will let FakeGod get a counter pick here.
Yeah, they definitely will. Some of his kind of most prized picks have been taken away. You know, that Aatrox certainly a big one for FakeGod. Has been banned out, but waiting on this last pick, it will be Akali. So this is back almost more to like MSI meta with the flex pick solo laners. Yeah. You know, we'll see if this is going to be Akali top or Akali mid lane. Huni had a great Akali game last week. You know, absolutely popped off. Was really, really impressive in that performance. So we'll see what FakeGod's answer is going to be because he has to really be comfortable playing into either one of these picks. And knowing that Lira is going to be playing this Gragas certainly has some very strong potential. But Poppy is a great answer, honestly, to both. There are so many dashes between the Irelia and the Akali. Gragas body slam can be rejected. I do believe you can even reject the Zenith Blade as Leona is coming in. So, you know, all of these things can actually be shut down by FakeGod and kind of taking a page out of Doko's book a little bit here and grabbing this Poppy.
Like Poppy a lot. Of course, keep in mind if you block any of Akali's kit, you're grounded for 2 seconds, so nothing else can be cast as she tries to run around or fails to. So it's going to be an exciting one here as 100 Thieves have locked in their lineup, and I really do like the look here. I think they are looking solid, but again, Clutch Gaming, 7-1 versus the bottom 5 teams, not them included. Odds are they're going to look good here. They've always been very consistent at being the playoff bar, and they might just do it again here as they can no longer switch champions around. Huni is the Akali. Damonte is the Irelia. We get to see how much this Leona can do alongside Xayah in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I think the Akali has a better chance against Poppy, honestly, than the Irelia does. Irelia really does kind of struggle into that matchup, especially in the 1v1. And, you know, the added thing that's always going to be nice is if Huni's playing side lane and forcing FakeGod to actually build MR, if it does come to a team fight, you know, most of your consistent damage is going to be the Xayah, which will be physical damage. that perhaps FakeGod will not be as prepared for.
All right, well, time ticking down. It's time to see who can make this one happen. A playoff spot on the line. 2 games left to play. And these squads are only half a game behind the playoff bubble. Half a game behind 6th. A win puts you in position. Both these teams have control of their playoff destinies. We'll see how it takes shape as we are onto the rift here for this one. Clutch Gaming versus 100 Thieves.
We've got to find out if that wonderful fan with their sign traveled 1,200 miles to see Jungle Ivern. I don't know if they're going to see a Jungle Ivern.
We got the hover at least. We got the bait a little
count?
bit.
I mean, you saw it.
You did see it.
Yeah.
Any one of those trees could take life. Be ready. You never know which one's an ent.
Ivern could be on the map right now.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a dance party. A couple of trinket wards come down. 100 Thieves actually are spotted in this. Damonte can just press all of his emotes.
And Ryu going to be playing Klepto once again. Has really been enjoying that. You know, a lot of these Corkis are going Klepto, and you know, Damonte does actually end up letting him get one little auto off there.
All right, well, we have his word on the sideline with the Tigress and Artemis.
I do want to hear some things from you, Artemis, going into this game. We've had a lot of 1-1 week finishes for CG, so what's going to be different this week to make it the 2-0 that you so desperately need?
Well, we've kept a lot of our preparation the same. We didn't want to change too much. But our CEO, Michael, came in and gave a really nice pregame pep talk, so hopefully that was helpful. But we really just need to play our game. I think we're super confident in both these matchups. Both of these teams we match up great against, so as long as we play our game, we'll be fine.
Last thing for you, C9 got that win. That add any energy for y'all?
Not really. To be honest, we haven't really been paying much attention to what's going on. We know that if we win 2 games, that we're in for sure. So we're focused on ourselves, and everything else is just noise.
Interesting, interesting. Well, let's hear some more noise from our casters.
Thank you very much. Loud noises here. Hello, audience, and hello, fellow gamers. There's some noise. I love it. Thank you so much. You are. I am also a gamer, as is Doublelift. I've seen it. He's put it on camera before. He's not in this game, though. We've got Clutch gamers and 100 Thieves gamers here. And we're going to move on, because that was terrible.
That was terrible.
Yes, it was. Most things I say are.
Par for the course.
Yes, exactly.
I've come to expect it.
It's a golf
At least you're
reference.
consistent.
Oh, I'm very consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Aphromoo going to look for some harass. Can't find it, though. Wait. Oh, hits a ward. All right, fine.
All right, back to mid lane here as Ryu will be having fun in the early game, getting to push in this Aurelia. And certainly, you know, playing these melee matchups into the Corki can be pretty annoying. Corki has pretty good push with Phosphorus Bomb, especially, you know, really helping to kind of shove you in, and then can kind of just harass you while you're trying to farm it up and procking Klepto off you. So really, unless you can threaten it all in, Corki's going to be definitely in his comfort zone.
All right, well, FakeGod pushing back and forth against Huni right now. Of course, you expect Akali to get the early push, and that's, of course, happening. Dash is not a part of the gameplay pattern just yet. That comes in a little bit later, but still trading some blows, and that is Huni only dropping 1 CS the first 3 waves, shoving it into the turret, and we'll see how much FakeGod can get, but it won't be 18.
No, certainly won't. FakeGod certainly will be on the receiving end of this lane for some time, but you know that's fine because he's going to have a lot of utility in the team fight. You know, with that W, going to be very, very effective. And Damonte not able to connect with the stun there, so is taking definitely the worst end of this trade. And Ryu's actually trying to set up a potential freeze to force out a teleport here, and he will be able to get it as long as you have those forge range minions outside of the range of the turret. You are going to have a pretty effective freeze going on in the mid lane, so Damonte will have to try to stay around it and shove this in.
That's what's going to happen right there. Of course, he knows his jungler's very nearby. You can see Lira in that North River, just took the top scuttle. He knows he's safe. I don't believe they've spotted Jarvan in a while, but you can see he's just sitting in the brush, makes sure that Damonte can feel comfortable, empowers the W, looks for the auto attacks, but knows he needs to be afraid of what Jarvan might be doing. Jarvan could be over that wall in their after pit, for example. That would be a lot of damage. Ryu, though, getting baited in. Not a stun, though, so no gank. And now with these minions cut down to only 2, it will not freeze anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with a cannon wave coming in, it's always going to group and push back. So Damonte in a pretty good spot. We'll see if he has to actually expend the teleport. He is just making the run for it now. And, you know, Ryu going to have a little bit of a farm advantage likely when he does go back to base. But things going pretty well overall. Very even across the board. Kind of only really notable difference is up in that top lane. 10 CS for Huni.
Definitely nice stuff right there. So Clutch Gaming still actually down in gold overall as a squad. Kleptomancy, of course, pretty useful. Ryu's been trading pretty heavily and doing a good job at that one. Total Klepto gold earned 120 from that Corki, so not too bad. You can see the matchup difference right there. It's pretty much the entire difference in this game, although it switches back as Clutch clears away, making me a liar yet again. Amazing though. Now a couple of deep wards coming down here, trying to track whatever Lira might do.
And you can see there's a lot of emphasis on all this vision on the bottom side because of the dragon that is actually going to be spawning, right? All these wards in this area are actually to set up for the ocean dragon, which is just about to spawn. That is really the highest priority dragon these days in the early game. 100 Thieves definitely want to try to get it, and we'll see if they can actually get lane control to try to look for it. You know, maybe even if you wait a couple minutes towards 8 minutes, I do believe that is the first package for Corki, and that is always a great time to try to make that initial play towards neutral objective because package really does give you so much additional power in a team fight.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go on package, so we'll see if that ends up being the power spike 100 Thieves needs. We just saw Lira try to sneak into the bot lane, but it was warded, so nothing happened for him as waves are cleared back and forth. +6 CS for Bang, so far comfortable. Both these bot lane marksmen scale quite well.
Yeah, and we have to track how Leona is actually going to be doing, right? You know, this is kind of that Rakan counterpick, certainly why it was grabbed up. And we'll see if they're going to be able to ever actually find the engages to try to make good on that, or if it will just end up being more of a passive lane where Leona will then be forced to try to match power in the team fights because we know Rakan is so consistent at finding those engages, and I do think Leona will have a more difficult time getting onto the carries perhaps than Rakan later.
That's a big stun though into the root as well. They have the kill! Aphro spent too long trying to freeze, and Cody Sun was waiting in the wings.
Oh. Yeah, I think he thought that Cody Sun had gone back to base for sure, but Cody Sun just hangs around long enough, and Aphro tanking the wave and the Leona. Once you get stunned up, it's a free route for Cody Sun, so Aphromoo giving over an easy first blood there, misjudging the situation.
Wow, okay, that's actually pretty big stuff right there. Good money picked up, and yeah.
Yeah, so here's Cody Sun recalling. Aphro is just assuming that the marksman is already gone. And if the marksman is already gone, you can do this. But he chases forward, stun into root, buys time for the Cody Sun root that was perfectly done there from Vulcan. Even him backing up, kind of alluding to the fact that, oh, Cody Sun's gone, I'm scared, backing up.
I mean, I think he's playing for the reflex game, because, like, when that wave is pushed in, Cody has just finished autoing. The recall couldn't possibly complete yet. He's like, maybe he's out of range. And if the sun comes in, I'll just hit W, I'll get back to my turret, it's fine. But the health bar was there. Vulcan's like, well, Q stun's instant, into E for the root, into Xayah E for the root, and then he was CC locked. And so Aphro, as you mentioned, exactly your phrasing, misjudged the situation. Thought he could W out, wasn't able to. Pretty grave mistake right there. Means a lot of money coming through. Thankfully for them, it's Vulcan getting the 400, so it's less on Cody than it would be.
Yeah, definitely not as big of a deal, but getting the early Moby Boots always can be nice. Certainly does increase the roaming potential and potential engages that you can pull off, coming out of fog, being able to get in range, for that Zenith Blade and potentially for that ultimate, when he does hit 6 here. So we'll see, can Clutch continue to make things happen on that bottom side. Going to be feeling really good about that first initial kill. But, that 8-minute mark for Corki is coming up here. Would not be surprised to see Ryu actually go back to base, and if 100 Thieves want to try to play around this dragon, could be pretty powerful to utilize the package for it.
Or maybe bot lane control is Clutch Gaming, so the control ward comes down and they drop all the vision away, but 100 Thieves have the most of their roster here. As you can see, Corki's walked back down, package just spawns. And we'll see if that recall comes through to make more of that happen. As we can see, Amazing just taking down this Gromp, feeling comfortable himself as continual ward battles rage over this bottom river. Ocean Drake 8 minutes in, not yet taken.
Yeah, 100 Thieves really trying to keep tabs on it, though. You can see Bang every once in a while shooting a W over there. They're trying to continually ward over the wall. Clutch wants them to face check, into this Gragas, into this level 6 Leona now. They have a lot of power. Huni does not have teleport. He used that top, so it would be a 4v4 potentially, but Corki has gone back to get packaged, so now you have to feel like 100 Thieves do have priority in this 4v4. That package makes such a big difference.
You even see top lane is scrapping pretty heavily as well, so the potential for FakeGod to prevent Huni from showing up. TP actually already burned by both top lanes, so they can't show up regardless. It's actually only the 4-on-4. It's Amazing. Walks by a zombie ward on 2, puts zone control ward down, and still this break cannot be started. Ryu is now here. There's the escape play for Amazing, EQing backwards. Cody Sun taking the aggro from the Drake, means a bit of damage towards Clutch.
Yeah, and that's Predator down for Lira. That's, the Aftershock on cooldown for a little bit for Vulcan, which could matter if they do fight in these next couple seconds. But it does look like it's going to be 100 Thieves just trying to dissuade the Dragon take and not willing to actually commit to it themselves. Ryu heads back to mid lane, pushes that in. Now can head back again towards bot side, where he still has his package. And potentially, if Vulcan face checks here, they could look for something.
All right, waiting around. Vulcan pushed out of the tribe, but this time around they don't have vision anymore. Ryu has to burn the package there, as he could not find his way into anything useful, and instead we'll go back to wave clearing this mid lane. Of course, most of Irelia's defenses are on physical damage. Corki can do pretty much all of it. Only meta damage auto attacks in the game, and that means Damonte's W doesn't do anything for it.
Yeah, I do believe it's 80-20 the split
Yeah,
on your auto attacks and your
technically blocks
abilities.
a bit.
Your abilities are like all magic, so pretty much. So very, very, very heavy on the magic side there. Amazing heading towards mid lane, but Lira is in the area.
Body slam flash. Ult comes across, not getting the reset, but the knockback is there. You gotta find some damage. The EQ flash. What a big play! Ryu is traded back, but a huge knockup buys some space. Now Aphromoo showing up there as well. E's forward, W's in, a nice body slam. That was sick from Lira, but the auto's still gonna be too much. Aphromoo claims the kill, 2-2 on the board.
Yeah, the initial gank looked great from Damonte and Lira, even holding the ultimate on Gragas to pull him back in, but then amazing was there with an incredible play to counter gank that, flying in with the EQ flash, turns it around, and it does go positive. 400 Thieves, 2 kills to 1.
Beautiful right there. A lot of great mechanical plays here as Vulcan
for the all-in.
wants to find Bang. He's in ult range, but Bang could react to it. He's not gonna land. I feel like ult for flash or ult for cleanse is maybe okay, but didn't want to burn that cooldown first.
Hoping to hit the Zenith Blade and potentially get the kill anyway. Here it is one more time. Body slam flash. Notice how Lira holds the ult till after the Valkyrie, then knocks him right back in. But unfortunately for Damonte, they were not synchronized perfectly there. Damonte would have wanted to hold his Q till after Lira had knocked him back in, but the communication was not there. And as a result, as Damonte Qs forward, his target is knocked away from him. And amazing hits the EQ flash, turning that fight around. I think it was a good ult from Lira, honestly, but
Yeah.
they weren't on the same page.
Yeah, really small thing. Ryu managed to flash over the Irelia ult, so there was no reset to Q back in, as he was now Q-less, and Damonte, as you saw, did get locked up. 100 Thieves going 2-1 in that fight overall. And although Clutch pulled the trigger first, it was answered correctly. And now we can see again as the push continues. Top lane, pressure in for Huni, 116-87, big lead up there.
Yeah, and he's going to get a turret plate potentially here. He does actually cash in on that, which is very, very nice. And when you get to an early Gunblade, you know, as this Conqueror Akali versus a tank, tanks just simply don't have enough damage to actually pressure you anymore. But we'll see, you know, what Huni can get done. He's actually roaming down towards this Rift Herald and poking away.
All right, wards up. Aphromoo pushing him away as Huni's going to walk back now back into the fight, though gets knocked up, but there's still more of an engage. A big stun comes across. Aftershock, though, he's so tanky. Vulcan over the wall, amazing smites, but he's burning, and Huni's going to claim that kill. He's now surrounded, but he's got backup nearby. Spotted out by Bang. Bang pushed away now as well. Huni low, the flash. They're going to stop him. He can't jump over. The stuns are in the ignite, and it secures the kill. How does he pick up one on that side? But FakeGod has to find a way to run away. Getting body slam yet again. No flash. Double kill comes through for Cody Sun, and Clutch Gaming take that fight 3-1.
Yeah, FakeGod able to trade one kill back, but it is his flash and does go down as a result. You know, blocking Huni on the R2 there with his W, not allowing him to actually get out. But Clutch come out way ahead, and they will actually get the Rift Herald in the extended play. So here's Huni again, kind of flexing his muscles up on this top side, gets Aphro very low. Aphro force used the ultimate to get out. Then Huni comes in, cleans up amazing. You know, and as you say, is a bit surrounded, but Clutch come in there on top of Ryu. They take him down, then Flash knocked right into the wall there. Huni goes down as Aphro picks it up with the ignite. But FakeGod, no way out here as Bang cannot join, too low, and Aphromoo has nothing really to peel.
So it's a 1,500 gold lead, Clutch
Drop
Gaming.
the Herald.
Looking solid. Yep, Herald's running low on time, but plenty of space to get the extra little turret plates here. Huni was already doing so much work in the top lane. The rest of it now going to be completed by this duo down here as turret will be close to falling. Won't quite drop just yet, but extra gold picked up here as it's down to one last plate. The Herald itself might die, but with this wave, they might claim first turret.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it because it's actually the duo lane from 100 Thieves matching Huni on the bot side, so they're going to be pushing heavily too. No one is down there to actually help Huni. Instead, Clutch are going to try to make a dive here up on the top side potentially, but 100 Thieves back off in time. Vulcan, though, could look for something here. There's no Q for Amazing.
Spotting Amazing. EQ's going to land. He's actually stopped in the middle of it. He's going to get pushed right back as well. Dunks, then finally Q's over. That is nice. Gets back to the point of origin and gets away.
Yeah, that was slick. You know, Amazing actually didn't have his Q for a little bit there because he used the Q on those Krugs, so that is why they go for it. He dropped the flag, ult back in range, then the Q comes off cooldown to get out, so pretty slick play. But it is Clutch grabbing the turret, and Huni will be able to defend down here on the bot side. That early completed Gunblade with his max rank Q, enough to one-shot the caster minions, which means the push is too difficult to pull off. And they're now going to swap him back up to the top side, bringing down Cody Sun, who has the Essence Reaver as well as the BF on top of this. He is really strong right now. You know, got additional gold from those turrets as well. So you know, he's up 1,300, 1,200 gold or so, you know, in this matchup right now.
Definitely in a really good spot here, basically up a BF sword.
Yeah.
As Bang can recall and pick up boots and a little bit of something, but this is looking very good for Clutch overall. You see the gold lead 2,500. This is Clutch looking good. We heard from the coach staff earlier saying, you know, we're not worried about anyone else. We know a 2-0 this week is playoffs, and that's correct still. Regardless of other results, a 2-0 week is Clutch Gaming back in the playoffs.
How do you feel about the Stormraiser first year for Bang? Because it's been almost exclusively, it feels like, you know, these tier builds into Rageblade and that sort of stuff lately.
I'm not really sure anymore, to be honest. I feel like there's just a lot of sort of room to do whatever you want. I like the extra attack speed, honestly. I think it's reasonable overall. I don't think you get huge incremental differences across those builds. They provide fairly similar stats. I know Muramana tends to be a really good scaling option. There's just so much attack damage. But going for more power now, right? The Stormraiser proc early game doesn't scale with anything, really. Not in her builds anyway,
no
but
fleet or anything.
it's a bit
like
of extra damage
either.
early game.
Yep, but either way, you know, the slow is also pretty impactful. That's something that, you know, when I had been kind of talking to pros in the past, when Stormraiser builds did come into popularity, they actually had a pretty high value on the actual slow itself for kiting in and out of fights, and you know, seeing how valuable that can be at times. But either way, I'm going to be working towards that Rageblade second. Pretty standard stuff. 100 Thieves moving down to the bot side. Ryu does have package, so Clutch have got to be cognizant of that fact. Anytime you hear the package warning coming out on the map, you need to play with more respect to the Corki. But it looks like it actually did expire.
Yeah, just timed out, I believe, as he went back to regular Corki form. Less sparkles following the dog he's riding. And ward control is going Clutch's way. It feels like they're just more powerful almost everywhere. They put a ward down. They saw the controller. Didn't go for that one, though.
Yeah, also worth noting that this is actually going into a tank build here for Lira. So it's been almost exclusively full AP Gragas that we have been seeing. Players have really been, you know, liking the initial burst. You know, when you do go Runic Echoes into kind of Spell Pen, those style of builds, even Zonias. But this is going to be into a Spirit Visage, which will be very effective against the Corki. But, you know, not too effective really against the other members here. It does amp up your passive though, which is something that you also have to keep in mind, as you are going to get the additional healing every time with that Spirit Visage.
So I do think this is actually better as well in general. I actually really like having an extra tank in the front line as bot lane turret goes down, and Lira can continue to be a frontliner for the squad as he builds up, and you can see this game pushing forward and forward. Almost 4,000 now puts Clutch Gaming ahead. They've been fairly comfortable this whole time through. Good items and their members here. Sork Shoe's done for Huni. He's continuing to be very threatening across this map. Damonte clears some minions. This is one, but generally pretty powerful here.
Yeah, definitely things looking pretty good, but at the same time, 100 Thieves do have a lot of scaling themselves. They have, I think, a much superior front line, you know, if it does come to it in the later stages of the game. You know, when you're looking over at this soon-to-be full tank style of Jarvan, when you're looking over at the Poppy as well, who will shut down a lot of the plays they want to make. We know that Bang has also been playing very, very well, so the Kaisa strong scaling option there. I think a lot of it really just comes down to the engages. Anytime you're playing Leona Gragas, so much will hinge on the initial moments of the fight. Can you lock down a critical member and burst them out, or do you whiff on that engage? Because, you know, Leona is like a one-way champ, right? You go in, you kill them, or they kill you. That's generally how it goes.
And Bang, of course, brought Cleanse to make sure he wouldn't be locked up quite as hard, but you don't really dodge Gragas ult with anything but Flash on that kit, so it's not like an Ezreal or a Xayah. Yes, you can ult.
Yeah.
You can if you've got the target, if they're set up, but the reliability, of course, a lot lower than, say, an Ezreal, where you just hit E at the right time and you get away. So oftentimes you might see Bang have to play on the Flash cooldown. Right now he has it, so it's fine. He can play with kind of, you know, sort of, he's impervious to it for a while, but something to watch for as time moves on. It might be an easier target.
Yeah, and Huni now is on double spell pen. So he has, you know, the Sork boots, he has the Oblivion Orb. No one except for FakeGod has really any significant amount of MR. You know, there's some great targets for both Ryu and Bang. Yes, there's Merc Treads on the jungler, but those are not going to be your targets anyway. So really, if he can get on top of those marksmen, if he's not denied by the Poppy, there is the potential to really zero them out. So, you know, Bang and Ryu are going to have to show a lot of respect over to Huni, who is going to continually, you know, be having this push advantage. And it is clutch, you know, as a result. Vault, who have been having kind of ward control all across the mid lane, really all across this map, this kind of line of scrimmage. They control this, so that allows them, to kind of make these moves between the lanes where they push it out, and they rotate towards middle, they push it out top, they rotate towards middle, and I think it really does create a lot of control.
Yeah, because you never know where they're going. You never know if, oh wait, no, this time Vulcan is right in front of that wall and he's gonna E over the wall and kill you. There are so few options for 100 Thieves, and they cannot wrest those wards back into their control, so the River constantly clutches. Still waiting for the next push, though. These turrets slow to take down, but Clutch themselves haven't lost any. Huni finds an opening, but again, finds Amazing in the River, makes him EQ away. He's going to find some damage towards FakeGod, and it's just so hard for 100 Thieves to find their way forward. Minions chip slowly at the mid lane turret. Huni's going to be stunned here, but there's no reinforcements anywhere nearby. Still some damage for FakeGod, puts Huni to half, but it's still a Gunblade champion with one stack of the Ravenous Hunters, so he'll heal back up, and it's not going to matter.
Yeah, and as you get the Conqueror procced and fully stacked in those tank matchups, it gets harder and harder to kind of maintain that damage. Huni certainly was, mostly trying to retreat as they were kind of fighting closer to the rest of the 100 Thieves squad. So that smite does go to Lira.
Nicely done.
But 100 Thieves now have mid lane control. There's the top lane being pushed out by Damonte here, so they're going to be able to move into the river and establish some semblance of vision control here. Getting this turret down as well, they may actually just kill it.
Really nice. They have the damage of 3 committed to it, and Clutch Gaming can only wave clear so much, and it brings the game a little bit closer, back to 4,000.
But go ahead. It's about the side lanes, right? Right now, for Clutch, they're pushing up here, they're shoving up here, and they can use this to kind of rotate down from that top side to try to collapse and potentially get an odd man fight. We'll see if they can do so now as Damonte is coming, and there's both the soul laners from 100 Thieves clearing out those waves.
And that's going to be the turret going down right here. Good pickup as Clutch Gaming can feel more comfortable. Moving forward here, looking to pick up their 8th win. Both these teams have playoff destiny control, but the loser, I think, loses that and have to find other wins elsewhere and get some help from the other squads in the LCS to make sure they can keep up, but otherwise you're a game back and you can't guarantee it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, even with just 8 wins, you're pretty much guaranteed to be in some sort of a tiebreaker at best, right? Because there already are the 2 teams sitting in the playoffs at 8 wins, right? That does not get you unless you win the head-to-head over all of them, but certainly you have to 2-0 to really maintain control. And this is a really big opportunity for both of these squads. 100 Thieves, coming off a 10th place finish in spring, being able to kind of swap up the roster a little bit and looking now to kind of have this resurgence to get back to playoffs would mean a lot for their fans who have been kind of down on the team over this last year.
Still incredible to me that the solution was benching Someday. Honestly, he actually wasn't playing that well at the beginning of the split. They put in FakeGod. His actual stats as a player are higher than Someday's. Ryu has been great, and Bang and Aphro, feel like they've come back to form. 100 Thieves definitely have turned their season around. I've been very pleased with Amazing as a player as well. I think 100 Thieves are a playoff caliber team, and they are slowly improving over time. They've been picking up more wins than losses ever since week 3 when they made the change.
Yeah, and I think Amazing has been someone that has really impressed me, not only his play on the field, but you see how much of a leader he has become within the team. Certainly has been looking good there. Yeah. But also someone I think kind of quietly having a bit of a resurgence on the other side of the map is Huni. I think Huni has had a much better split in summer than he has really since last year's spring split.
The explosive cast is going to find the mark, but the wall was well in a position. Bang ran left to make sure it would knock him into safety, and it did so.
Yeah, that was smart positioning there from Bang, just making sure, even if it does hit, you are not going to be in too much trouble. But yeah, I think that Huni has been having a lot better games. And when Huni is on point, his teams are often doing very well. He can be such a dominating player. Vulcan potentially looking for an engage here as they are posturing around this dragon.
And a stun towards Aphro, not going to be found. Vulcan actually burns his flash as Aftershock comes down. Now you got a stun on the back line. A lot of damage towards FakeGod. He's really tanky. Now the re-engage towards Ryu. He's going to jump back as well. They found the kill on a Vulcan. They have knocked down that Leona. 100 Thieves finally got themselves a team fight win.
Yeah, 100 Thieves grouped up and they just shred through Vulcan. As he stepped forward, he had to flash back. He goes for the re-engage again, but if you're not on top of those marksmen, if the follow-up is not there, you will just get popped without your Aftershock. So now 100 Thieves, full control of this dragon area, should be theirs. Lira has no flash, so it would be a one-way trip if they want to try to go for the steal, and I think this would be such a risky fight.
Huni going to take the risk as well. Half HP on him. You got Damonte on the back side. It looks like Clutch wants to fight the 4v5 or at least poke in it. Drake's going to go over. 100 Thieves claim that one after the kill they picked up. It's going to be some wave clear and then an escape for Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, I think, you know, it would be kind of pretty brazen to actually look for that fight, to fully commit to it. But, you know, not too much harm in actually just walking over and saying, hey, is there an opportunity? Is there something we can get done here? But Vulcan just gets split up a little bit from the team. Lands the stun on Aphro, but Lira and Huni are not quite with the rest of the squad. 100 Thieves are more grouped. So you see the re-engage, though, from Vulcan goes straight in. But again, look at that Cataclysm, zoning out multiple members on the bottom side. Lira, Cody Sun, and Damonte were all stuck on the outside of that Cataclysm, couldn't actually get around to where Vulcan was to follow up. So Vulcan goes in, the engage was not perfect, and goes right down.
Still, the gold lead is Clutch Gaming's. The Mountain Drake does not matter unless you can be aggressive enough to hit a turret or the Baron, and Clutch going to hope they can keep the wave control to prevent that from happening.
Now, this is very interesting. I think Bang is actually going towards a third item Zhonya's, is what I'm going to guess this is. It could potentially be something like a Banshee's Veil, but I do think Zhonya's could make quite a bit of sense when there's this much hard engage, right? When it is about the Gragas and the Leona and all these people diving forward. That would be a really interesting pickup. You know, quite defensive, but I think it would make quite a bit of sense. And on the other side, Cody Sun will be outpacing him in damage with the build that he has right now. Cody Sun has the Essence Reaver IE and Rapid Fire. That is kind of the holy trinity of marksman right now, it feels like, where you are just so strong when you hit that point in the game. And he has hit his 3 items much more quickly and with a more aggressive build, likely, than what Bang will.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage to Cody Sun. I love 100% crit builds on Xayah and any of the other champions that have attack speed buffs already on the kit. Double BF sword builds are great. Nashor's, of course, also a possibility for Bang. It's the other half of the item, and we'll see what build comes through.
Definitely possible
if it's
there.
Aggressive AP or defensive AP. I mean, in all the cases, you're going to get the third evolve in kind of all those combines. You'll need a little bit more to finish off from the Rage Blade.
Yeah, Nashor's has been very common as a third item. You know, it kind of just made me feel like, we're going to see an engage.
That's a stun. A slow and Aphro here as well. And yeah, any Stormracer build doesn't need to go for Stinger third is really the big thing, right? Is that you've got the extra attack speed you talked about, sort of that possibility. I think any Relanomicon build or Manamune build needs to go Stinger third. You don't get the E-Evolve. And there we go, the blue resets. They'll fight for that a little bit later, but Huni is still the stronger of the two. Equal levels, though. The 40 CS different equates to a 1,200 gold lead on the top side. Huni has some healing reduction now as well. Go towards zone use pretty soon. Ryu has an Irelia behind him, but Amazing's waiting in the river. This is actually a 2v1. Damonte takes a fight. He's set up the stun, finds that, puts the Q down, puts some auto attacks. Now here comes Amazing, and now they can look for the re-engage, putting some damage across. Damonte will wave through under the turret. Looks like he's not in too much pain.
No.
And able to knock these down.
That didn't fully commit to it, so it is able to just kind of walk it out once he realizes that it's not going to be a fight he can win. We'll clear out that wave. Ryu now on IE plus his Trinity Force. That's the Essence Reaver build, so the Essence Reaver does allow you to have so much more powerful poke with the 40% CDR on AD, but they're actually engaging mid lane to get a kill.
Gosh, just destroyed. Aphromoo had flash, had ult, just gets dropped. The CC landed in time. Well played, Vulcan. Gets his revenge from earlier.
Yeah, I could see the Zenith Blade going just as the Observer swapped towards the bot lane. It looked like he just got absolutely lit up. So, one small mistake there, and he does go down. Now picks up the QSS. Don't believe he had that before his death. So, Aphro, making this kind of response to Vulcan, as otherwise it's so hard to ever engaging aggressively, right? If you go forward and you just get locked up and die, you need to have this kind of playmaking utility. So having to pay the QSS tax.
Sure. Yeah, and he's guarding Rakan, right? So you don't have the aftershock for the burst of armor MR. Oh, that root, that's why. Wow.
Yeah, that was actually just really well played by Cody Sun. Very little actually to do with Vulcan there. Cody Sun just landed the root himself. Made for an easy follow-up there from Vulcan with the Zenith Blade, and Cody Sun now should be sitting on 90% crit with that additional Zeal on top of his build, closing in on that 100% crit mark. Bang does have quite a bit of gold to his name, so we will find out if it's going to be, kind of the more aggressive Nashers or if he wants to go defensive. I do tend to think it can be rough to fall too far behind as far as the pacing. When someone is this far ahead in an aggressive build and you go defensive, sometimes just exactly the staying alive isn't enough.
You can see the aggressive options continue. Vulcan has the Zeke's done, and we had to have Aphromoo stop and pick up QSS first, as you can see him getting picked off a bit more often. He's just got components right now.
Yeah.
Adam's definitely better on the Clutch Gaming side.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Lira could just go Stoneplate, but I also think Knight's Vow is a great option when you have such a strong marksman. You know, at this point in the game, you could just grab a Knight's Vow, and then you have, you know, the Zeeks and the Knight's Vow both on Cody Sun here, and you can play around that, you know, for the team fights. But, you know, it may simply be Stoneplate. It's such a popular pro item.
Sure, of course. It's just a lot of extra tank stats right here. But, I mean, you can even put it on Damonte or Huni, right? Like, they're also going to take damage. You can make them dive even harder. I think there's great options. That's kind of the nice thing about Clutch is they usually play 3 carries. You can support any one of the 3 based on who pops off. Right now, it's been kind of across the board who's been getting gold here, as the bottom river is now the contest.
Yeah, but it is all, again, about this split push. You know, 100 Thieves are in this area with 5 members, so Clutch has got to be careful because Damonte is not joining
Oh,
yet.
that's a stun. Do they go for Amazing? They're not going for it just yet. Now he's going to go to the back line, finds a double stun. Nuggets jump back in. Huni throws a flash away, jumping over the wall. Now for the re-engage, finds Free. It's 1-for-1 so far. Those Damonte's now dead as well. Looking for more damage to come across. Huni is cutting them away, finding the Qs, finding the slows. One more hit would kill Amazing. Can't get that one, but they will find this one as FakeGod's going to drop down 2-for-1 again to Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, Huni played that fight out so damn well. Clutch actually engaged in the 4v5 as Damonte is TPing in, but Huni was getting so much work done. You know, almost single-handedly, it felt like taking down Ryu there. They will now net themselves the dragon here, evening up in that regard. They're 6,000 gold ahead, same dragons to their name, and you know, Baron becomes very, very approachable at this point. This is not, you know, full AP Gragas. This is a bit of a tankier fellow who can actually, you know, hold that a bit longer. But let's watch just one more time. The initial play from Huni, you know, he's getting that poke down on Amazing. So this is what actually allows them to initially go for it. Then straight in onto Ryu, lands the stun, flashes out, waits for his R2 to be active, then goes back in over the wall, just deletes Ryu single-handedly, and kiting back and forth. You're getting so much damage down. It's the Shuriken on FakeGod, but has to wait out the W. In the meantime, Damonte did go down, but Huni, with just a fantastic fight there, now has a Void Staff to his name, so, you know, will get harder for FakeGod in that 1v1 also.
238 AP, definitely feeling good about this setup right here. Do want to point out, one of the big changes to Akali in the 9-14 changes was adding a significant ability power ratio to the Shuriken flip. Now, it is physical damage, so the flat pen builds, the Void Staff, none of that magic pen actually matters for that ability, but the AP itself does, and you can often more than double the damage output on that spell with the AP investment.
And Cody Sun now going to be by far the richest person in this game. Over 15,000 gold. Next highest is Bang, 2,500 behind. He has a QSS and 100% crit. You know, double Zeal, double BF items. Now, this is an incredibly strong Xayah. You know, if he gets a couple auto attacks on Ryu or Bang, they just die. Yeah. And that is the world that 100 Thieves are kind of facing now. Remember, the playoff implications so big for this game. You lose control of your fate. And you know, so much of their season really just kind of coming down to how they're going to be able to execute in these final moments.
Clutch stuck with the same lineup the whole way through. They've been able to clean up and stake it against the bottom edge teams to make their way into playoffs. We talked to them back in week 8. They felt comfortable here. Lira, tanky, you can see not dying, still half HP, pops the stone plate. And that is the benefit of the tankier Gragas build. That was probably a kill if it's a different build right there, or at least let's pull up Azonia's Hourglass. Not happening there. FakeGod fighting for blue, can't get it away. Huni continuing to do good things down there. 60 CS lead, up 2,000 gold individually, as the team of Clutch are up 6K themselves.
Yeah, again, they've just been kind of running them around the map. They have their solos, go out to a side lane. You know, they just utilize the same plan over and over. Go out to a side lane, push it out. Then, once these waves are actually here, you can see, you know, FakeGod is having to come over, and that just allows then Huni to then regroup with the team and kind of get the man advantage. So you're just kind of forcing their hand, making them split up. When Poppy really wants to be grouped with the team and trying to look for that sort of a team fight, you're dictating where they have to be, and that's what is allowing you to know where you're strong.
And that's great because as the wards come through and they can start tracking the movements, where is Amazing, where is Bang, where is FakeGod, suddenly you collapse on them. It was Fog of War. For those guys, you caught them in transition because your mid lane moved around. That's the play that they're making here with these really strong side lanes, the 1v1 experts of Akali and Irelia. This is the style with Vulcan and Cody Sun ready to follow up afterwards. Lira the same, crowd control and all of those roles. And it's been working. Clutch Gaming consistent against the bottom edge teams, and they felt comfortable. They said, you know we could beat all these teams. They've got head-to-head records against almost all of them. Most head-to-head tiebreakers would automatically be broken just by the 2-0 head-to-head. And they know a 2-0 week is playoffs bound. You see he one-shots the caster minions. Huni just feels so comfortable here.
Yeah, and I would really like to see Clutch getting kind of aggressive, though. You don't want to sit back for too long. You don't want to allow Bang and Ryu to really kind of catch up on Cody Sun. He is the strongest member of the game by a lot. When Bang completes his death cap, that's going to be a significant spike in damage. You can see Ryu's on 3 items now as well. So I do think that forcing around this Baron could be a very, very good idea. Trying to set up vision and looking for picks with your Gragas and Leona. You kind of have the pink wards in this area. So moving as a team, look for a potential pick, and they're going now.
They find the root, but Amazing is able to EQ back over the wall without any issues, as Vulcan just cannot lock down a Jarvan easily enough. But looking around to the top side, a quick brush check, but nothing there. Package pop now. Huni is surrounded. They know where he is. A sweeper pop finds a stun, trying to run away. Pops now the Zhonya's Hourglass. The re-engage, 1 kill picked up as Bang is already gone. And now it's the rest of the team running away. And ulti kicks out 1, but Clutch Gaming take the fight.
Lira actually had such a great ult there. I believe he was the one who actually caught Bang, knocking him back into the team. Huni buying the time with the Hourglass, then ulting back for the mini stun through multiple members there. But 100 Thieves are on the chase. Remember, Damonte has flash and ult, and he is up above them in this brush. They just got vision of Damonte, though, in that brush. He stepped out and was spotted by the ward, so they could actually look for a collapse on him, but Clutch is just burning down the Baron.
Building a bunch of space right there. The flash over the wall, looking for almost a kill, but not quite finding it. Clutch Gaming wanted to engage the 5v4. Now they got to get back in the pit for the Baron. Lira, of course, flashless, has to wait for body slam, gets back over, does have the smite. Amazing's not in range, doesn't have the vision. Actually does, but doesn't matter. They pick up that Baron cleanly. Now 5v4, a flash for Vulcan. Ignite's been burned now as well. Big on the backside. Ult flash comes across. There's the resets and 2 kills in. They find the stun. This will be a third. You have to believe Amazing is going to go down, and Clutch Gaming pick up 4 undisturbed kills and the Baron.
Yeah, they're going to be able to run right down mid lane, get an inhibitor here for sure, and then potentially, go back. If they don't want to try to risk ending it, they can go to the Elder. The Elder has spawned, and they would have full control in that area, but Ryu's still dead for 40. I think Clutch is the kind of team that just goes for the end here. We'll see if they make the call. There's not too many minions, but more are coming.
Yeah, every time you see Cody Sun pass the inhibitor means they want to stay for a bit more. Respawn time is going to take some time. This is the hero play. He's trying to clear out the wave, and he gets some of it. FakeGod will lose his life, but he buys crucial time.
Too little.
Yeah, there's so many minions still there. That wave is buffed up, and it's 2 versus the world. Clutch Gaming gonna remain in control, gonna take the win here. Nothing will stop them. Clutch up to 8 wins in playoff position.
What a big win there for Clutch, moving to 8 wins, as you say. Now tied with both Golden Guardians and Optic. So, in that tie at 6th place, gonna be really, really big for them. 100 Thieves falling further behind that mark. Their destiny, now not in their hands. They would need not only to win tomorrow, but also for everyone else to lose, and then there to be some sort of tiebreaker scenario. So, gets harder for 100 Thieves.
It really does. It's going to be a tough road ahead. 100 Thieves have CLG to play, the current #2 team in the LCS. That is an upset that they must take. But this is about Clutch today. This is about Clutch Gaming tying for playoffs right now with Golden Guardians to play tomorrow. They say we can beat them. And with that win, they are guaranteed a top 6 spot. They are guaranteed back in the playoffs. It's been a while for Huni. They had that taste of success, but it's looking likely here.
Yeah, I mean, Huni now in a pretty damn good game. You've got to say, he had a great Akali game last week, looking good again on it here today. Cody Sun as well, really stepping up, was very, very strong in this game. And I think this is another exciting win, for Clutch. It's cool to see them bringing out the Leona, despite the fact that Leona, I don't think, was pivotal in this game.
Not really.
And I think Lira played really well. It was a team effort, and they were really very well in control for most of it.
Really felt that way. Really good game. Clutch Gaming in control in a playoff spot for now with 1 game to play. And now for more on that win, we've got the Tigers ready for an interview with Clutch Gaming's top laner.
Well, after those plays we saw in that last game, I had to get some words from Huni because 29 minutes, you stall it out until the rest of your team gets there. 34 minutes using the Hourglass effectively. So just walk us through what's going through your head when you're trying to hold it out for the rest of your team.
Yeah, I think I played really well this game. I'm pretty satisfied how I did put the works, Obviously, I think I showed also last week that I'm pretty comfortable playing just like Kelly, and then that's what I showed this week. It's one of my champions that is gonna be pretty confident to play. And, those kind of fight was kind of like, I just had to focus fully, and I guess that was pretty lucky that I had established this too,
Well, I got to put you on the spot a little bit because there is a consistent performance from you all from the start of the game to the end. And we've seen that your team does really well when you have that early lead, but sometimes not so much when you don't. So do you worry what would happen if you don't have that early momentum?
I mean, honestly, I'm not really losing anyone versus, any LCS, so I'm chilling. So that means like my team is not gonna lose, I guess.
Well, you still have one more game to go, and I know you say you're chilling right now, but with Golden Guardians up next, are you still feeling chill going against them?
Yeah, I mean, since they lost today too, like, we're a pretty good spot. We've shown what we have, they've shown what they have, so.
We have heard a lot from Huni here on the stage, and we'll just have to see how he plays tomorrow. For more on this game, let's send it over to the State Farm